Well, there's a lot of recipes that you can make using watermelon, but the very best way to truly enjoy a Dulcinea Pure Heart
Laura,
is just
excuse me, excuse me, but there's a lot of work that goes into producing this watermelon before you're able to take that first bite.
Everyone, I want to introduce you to Mike Taylor. He is actually the agronomist for Dulcinea watermelon. And Mike, tell everyone what that means.
I work with both our production people from Dulcinea and also with the growers. We've selected the best growers for each area that we grow in. Irrigation practices,
yes,
fertilization, pest control, harvest. Everything's an important part of that process to get to where you want to take a bite of this, of a melon that looks like this.
And I'm holding it and it's dripping and I just really want to take a bite. But before I do, I can attest to how difficult it is to raise watermelon because I've tried to do it in my garden and forget it. I can never get a darn good watermelon in my garden at all. So bravo to you guys. Watermelon need heat.
Yeah, our products need warm growing areas. That's why we come to the San Joaquin Valley. We go back into Arizona. We go into Mexico in the winter.
Right.
And then back into Yuma in the spring.
We can get it year round, which is nice. The funny thing for me is watermelon is 96% water. How much water do these take? And yet they need a lot of heat too. So you're always pumping water out on these melons?
Actually, watermelons, despite the name, are very efficient water users. We use about 1.5 acres of water per acre here, which is much less than many of the crops here in San Joaquin.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's actually amazing,
yeah,
to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
These are personal sized watermelon. One is perfect for me to eat every day. I love watermelon, but Pure Heart really comes from the fact that what is inside of this watermelon is the middle of a big watermelon.
Right.
Just last night, I took a spoon and I did a no-no. I ate the middle of a big watermelon because I wanted the pure innards, the pure heart of the melon.
Well, that's exactly why it's called Pure Heart, because you don't have in the old traditional melon that other part. You're just getting the heart.
Right.
Thin rind, as you can see, so you have a very large percent of usable product. As long as you have that Dulcinea label on the fruit,
yeah,
you really don't need to worry about it. You can see with what we're doing out here, all this is selected by hand.
You know, by now you'd think they would have come up with a different mechanization or a different way to harvest these darn things. They're still done by hand the way they were originally harvested way back when.
Right. Then on the sorting machines, we'll select by size.
You do the picking for us. Last question, pollination. Self-pollinating, do you bring in bees? How does that work?
Well, we actually plant what we call a pollinizer every fourth plant. So we also bring in bees because that's absolutely necessary.
And it's very natural, which I love. Can I take a bite yet?
Still got a lot of work to do, but you can start out and take a bite.
I'll fuel up and then we'll get to work.
All right.
Oh my gosh, delicious. All right, let's get to work.
All right, nice.
Oh, all right. Yeah! That's the pollinator.
And you can see how different that is.
Completely.
So the only function of this pollinator plant is to give pollen to the female plant.
Female.
You wouldn't want to buy the pollinator.
I had no idea there were even white watermelon, but not for consumption. What does it taste like?
Oh, it tastes like a cucumber?
Well, it's a cousin, right? It tastes just like a cucumber with more water. That's amazing. All right, is this our cue to go work?
This is our cue to go work.
All right, let's do it. There you go. That's what makes a Pure Heart so pure and delicious. Woo! That's a workout.